Om Gyantimirandhasya Gyananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Bhagavad Gita chapter 2 verse number 26. Ath cha enam nitya jatam nityam va manyase mritam tathapi tvam mahabaho na enam shochitum arhasi. If, however, you think that the soul is perpetually born and perpetually dies, there is still no reason for you to grieve, O mighty armed one. So far Krishna was explaining to Arjun from a spiritual perspective that why he should not lament for the loss of bodies in this battle, and the reasoning he gave was that the true identity of each one of us is not this material body but the spirit soul, and that spirit soul is eternal, it is indivisible, it cannot be destroyed by any weapon or any other means. However, sometimes it is not easy to understand the spiritual perspective. Now, Krishna's main objective was to emphasize to Arjun that it is not right to lament and think that he will incur sinful reactions for killing his loved ones. So Krishna is now giving a different argument from a common sense point of view. He says that even if you think that the soul is not eternal, and with the death of this body, the soul also finishes and the existence of that living entity ceases to be, even then you don't have a reason to lament, because if there is no afterlife, you will not incur any sinful reaction, in the sense you will not have another life to suffer those sinful reactions. And even if you think that this body is simply a combination of physical elements, and then also there is no reason to lament, because what is the cost of physical elements in this body? According to science also, most of our body consists of oxygen. 65% consists of oxygen, about 20% carbon, 10% hydrogen, and then small traces of many other chemicals. And even at current price of all these elements, if you calculate what is the cost of all these elements in the body, you'll be surprised. Do you know how much it is? It's about a US dollar. So Krishna is saying in this battlefield, there is going to be a loss of so many chemicals. So much warfare is based on different types of weapons in which tons of chemicals are used and they cost so much money. But compared to that, the amount of chemicals in this body is so little. So when you are not lamenting for the loss of so many chemicals in these weapons, why lament for the loss of some chemicals in a physical body? So while Krishna does not support these arguments, he is saying that even if someone is not a spiritualist, someone who's a spiritualist who has gyan, who understands what the true nature of the living entity is, for that person certainly there should be no cause of lamentation. But even if one is not a spiritual minded person, one is a gross materialist and does not believe in existence of life after death, even for such a person there should not be any cause of lamentation. Indirectly, Krishna is refuting the many other philosophies which probably also existed at that time, as Srila Swami Maharaj Prabhupada ji quotes that philosophies like Lokaitikas and Vaibhashikas, where they say that the so-called soul or Atma vanishes along with the deterioration of the body. Because he says, according to this theory, since there are so many living entities generating out of matter every moment, and so many of them are being vanquished every moment, there is no need to grieve for such incidents. Srila Gurudev also in his commentary states that atheists like Charvak consider the soul to be temporary like the gross body and say that it does not exist after death. Also, according to the philosophy of certain sects of Buddhists, if one considers the soul to be repeatedly taking birth and dying, there is still no reason to grieve for it. And then there are others who believe that it is simply energy. So even if we consider that body is simply a transformation of energy, energy is never destroyed, it's only transformed. Again, there is no need to lament. So irrespective of whichever philosophy one is following, whether what Krishna was telling Arjun before, or one is following some of these other schools of thought, in any of these cases, there is no cause for lamentation. Now, Krishna does refer Arjun as Mahabaho. Mahabaho means the mighty armed one, which means that he belonged to the Kuru dynasty, to the Aryan dynasty, in which the Vedic culture, the Vedic philosophy, the Vedic wisdom is followed, and therefore he should not accept the non-spiritual interpretations of other philosophies, and it behooves him to follow in the footsteps of great kings in his dynasty and take up the arms and fight in this battle for the protection of the principles of religion, because it is his duty to fight. And in a fight, a warrior may have to face such tough situations where he's facing his own ones to fight with. Shri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur quotes from Srimad Bhagavatam, the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 54th chapter, in which the pastime of Lord Krishna marrying Rukmani is described. Rukmi, who was the brother of Rukmani, did not want his sister to be married to Krishna, but anyhow Krishna came and he kidnapped Rukmani, and as he was taking Princess Rukmani away, the inimical kings all gathered their armies and led by Rukmi, they pursued him. There was a fierce battle between Lord Krishna and Rukmi, the brother of Rukmani, and finally Sri Krishna with his arrows struck Rukmi's 4 horses as well his chariot driver, the chariot's flag, and also destroyed every weapon that Rukmi tried to use to kill Krishna. As Rukmi leapt towards Krishna to kill him with his sword, the Lord shot arrows that broke Rukmi's sword and shield into small pieces. Krishna then took up his own sharp sword and prepared to kill Rukmi. Seeing Lord Krishna ready to kill her brother, saintly Rukmani was filled with alarm. She fell at her husband's feet and piteously spoke as follow. She said, O controller of all mystic power, immeasurable one, Lord of lords, Master of the universe, O all auspicious and mighty armed one, please do not kill my brother. Rukmini's utter fear caused her limbs to tremble and her mouth to dry up, while her throat choked up out of sorrow, and in her agitation her golden necklace scattered. She grasped Krishna's feet, and the Lord, feeling compassionate, desisted. Then Lord Krishna tied up Rukmi with a strip of cloth. He then proceeded to disfigure Rukmi by comically shaving him, leaving parts of his mustache and hair. By that time, the Yadu heroes, led by Lord Balram, had crushed the extraordinary army of their opponents, just as elephants crush a lotus flower. As the Yadus approached Lord Krishna, they saw Rukmi in this sorry condition, practically dying of shame. When the all-powerful Lord Balram saw Rukmi, he compassionately released him and spoke the following to Lord Krishna. Now there's a beautiful instructions by Lord Baladev to both Shri Krishna as well as Rukmini. So first he said to Krishna that, my dear Krishna, you have acted improperly. This deed will bring shame on us, for to disfigure a close relative by shaving off his mustache and hair is as good as killing him. So disrespecting someone is as good as killing that person. So Lord Baladev is demonishing Lord Krishna here. And then he turned to Rukmini and said that, please do not be displeased with us out of anxiety for your brother's disfigurement. No one but oneself is responsible for one's joy and grief, for a man experiences the result of his own deeds. So Rukmi himself is the cause of what is happening to him. And then again he addressed Krishna, saying that a relative should not be killed even if his wrongdoings warrant capital punishment. So even though he apparently was chastising Krishna, but through that he was giving some very important instructions. And then he said to Rukmini again, and this is the verse quoted by Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in this verse, where it says, Kshatriyanam ayam dharmaham prajapati vinirmitaha, that according to the religious principles of the Kshatriyas, the warrior class, who were created by Lord Brahma, one brother can even kill another brother. Therefore, the religion of the warriors is said to be very fearsome. Lord Baladev is saying that this is the responsibility of Kshatriyas. So in a fight, if such a situation arises, and if it is for the cause of protecting religion, a warrior does not turn back from his responsibility. So he's saying that what Krishna did is the right thing to do. And he further said to Rukmini that your attitude is unfair, for like an ignorant person you wish good to those who are inimical to all living beings and who have done evil to your true well-wishers. So Rukmi was not a saintly person, and you're trying to support someone who has hurt others, who is evil-minded. And then he gives two other beautiful instructions to Rukmini, saying that this material body, which has a beginning and an end, is composed of the physical elements, the senses and the modes of nature. The body imposed on the self by material ignorance causes one to experience the cycle of birth and death. O intelligent lady, the soul never undergoes contact with or separation from insubstantial material objects, because the soul is their very origin and illuminator. Thus the soul resembles the sun, which neither comes in contact with nor separates from the sense of sight what is seen. Birth and other transformations are undergone by the body but never by the self. Just as change occurs for the moon's phases but never for the moon, though the new moon day may be called the moon's death. As a sleeping person perceives himself, the objects of sense enjoyment and the fruits of his acts within the illusion of a dream, so one who is unintelligent undergoes material existence. Therefore, with transcendental knowledge, dispel the grief that is weakening and confounding your mind. Please resume your natural mood, O princess of the pristine smile. So the same instructions that Lord Baladev is giving to Rukmani here, Lord Krishna is telling to Arjun that please give up your grief that is weakening and confusing your mind. Stand up and fight. Hare Krishna, Radhe Radhe, have a very blessed day.
Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna